Syus has two measures related to turnover time average surgeon and turnover time average room. Both of these measures calculate the minutes of turnover time divided by the number of gaps in the filter selections. The difference between these two measures is essentially what is considered the start and end time of the measured gap. The settings and adjustments for these measures are similar. In both measures, you can adjust the turnover time threshold. This feature is useful if you would like to exclude gaps, which are greater than a certain number of minutes. Just enter the number of minutes of gap time you want to always exclude and click Apply. In the settings for the measures, you can set your turnover time goal. In the turnover time surgeon's measure, you can adjust how the where and the what filter calculates. In the turnover time room measure, you can adjust how the who filter and the what filter calculates. One item to note is that these measures will exclude scenarios which indicate a doctor is flipping a room, or where a surgeon has a case in room 1, goes to room 2 to do another case, and back to room 1 again. In this instance, the turnover time between the cases in room 1 would not be accurate, and therefore is removed from the equation. Now let's look at the measures separately. The surgeon turnover time average measure defines minutes of turnover time as the total minutes from prior patient close to succeeding patient cut for sequential cases by the same surgeon. Number of gaps is defined as the count of distinct gaps between cases for which minutes of turnover time are counted. In this example, I have selected all surgeons in the main OR for the year to date. I click Apply. In the primary chart, I can see any outliers that could possibly change my results or affect my results. By clicking on these and drilling in further, I can see who is affecting these points of data. After looking at who is affecting the points of data, I decide to exclude any outliers that would maybe affect my numbers. I will enter a turnover time threshold to exclude these from my results. With this adjustment, I get a more accurate average value. I'll drill further in again to see who is still affecting the results. I can also sort by minutes in order to see who my top turn time users are and who my least turn time users are. In the room turnover time measure, minutes of turnover time is defined as total minutes from prior patient out of room or wheels out to succeeding patient in room or wheels in for sequential cases in the same room. When I look at my primary chart for this measure, I clearly have a few outliers, which I will select and drill in to see a little more information about. Then I decide to exclude any outlying data by adding an adjustment of a turnover time threshold and clicking Apply. As in the previous example, with this adjustment, I get a more accurate average value. This concludes the tutorial on the turnover time average surgeon and turnover time average room measures.